becoming everything that's thrown at me. I am now becoming everything I chose to be. I am now affirming greater power is in me. I am never running from my own capacity.
Remember when it fell apart? Remember when it broke your heart? And remember when you had to start again? You doubted what you could do. You didn't think you could make it. But looking back now, you made it through. You made it through. Look how you made it through. You made it through. Think how you made it through. You made it through. Look how you made it through. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Remember when it fell apart? Remember when it broke your heart? And remember when you had to start again?
You didn't think you could do. You didn't think you could make it. But looking back now, you made it through. You made it through. You made it through. it broke your heart, and remember when you had to start again.
Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Sessions. I'm your host, Darante LaMar, and I'm honored to be here welcoming you to a new year, a new month, and a new series. If you're new here, we are Bridge City, a forward-thinking, people-centric community of individuals committed to connecting better, building better, and living better. Wherever you are in the world or wherever you are on your journey, we're creating space and opportunity for you to connect and build with others while growing at your own pace and in your own direction. We're not waiting on the future to imagine better community. We're practicing it now. We're building bridges to better understanding, deeper empathy, and more honest connection so people everywhere can reclaim their authentic existence and contribute to the world on their own terms. Every Sunday, we gather to celebrate our humanity while engaging conversations that strengthen our capacity to be the bridges to better. We're currently in our Life's Big Questions series, inspired by one of our campus clubs. And all month long, we're tackling the big questions about life, fear, identity, and certainty. What better way to kick off the new year than to face those hard questions with new frameworks of freedom and the language of liberation? If you've been looking for community where people are the point, you found it. We are connected by our shared humanity, regardless of beliefs, creeds, or backgrounds. We are a global community of people, no labels needed. So whether this is your first time here or you've been part of the bridge for a while, welcome in. My hope is that something in this weekend's experience provides connection for your life, clarity for your mind, and comfort for your authentic self. Before we get into today's conversation, let's check in the Bridge City news.
Hey, Bridge City, happy Sunday, or whatever it is, whatever day it is on your side of the world. My name is Bob Swanson. I'm here to give you a look at what's happening across our community. There's a lot growing, shifting, and unfolding, and I want to make sure you're in the loop. Now, if you're in the Los Angeles or Atlanta area, it's time to build the bridge in your city. We're actively looking for leaders, hosts, and team members who are ready to be the bridge by providing a better way to connect, build, and live for your local community. What does that look like? Well, it looks like meeting and working with a local team to host weekly Sunday session watch parties in alignment with the global campus as you introduce others to the mission of Bridge City and the heart of your team. Beyond that, as your community grows, the sky's the limit. The global team will be with you every step of the way, providing support on Sundays, training for teams, templates for systems, and even licensing your leaders as you navigate launching your campus. If you're ready for a challenge that will create change in your city, this opportunity is perfect for you. Introduce yourself on the global campus, let us know which city you're in and how you're ready to help. That introduction is your entry point. And P.S., the Los Angeles crew is already meeting monthly for local mixers and virtual roundtables, so now is the perfect time to join the party. Speaking of watch parties, regardless of where you are in the world, if you're wanting to bring Bridge City to your home or city with a Sunday session watch party, we'd love to support you. If you have space, a screen, and a few people in mind to invite, you're a perfect candidate to put your city on the map. We can help with planning, promotion, and everything in between. Just introduce yourself on the global campus and send a message to our head of community, Ashley Wilmore. Now, mark your calendars for the first Sunday in February. We're going to be watching Idiocracy together. Did you ever hear that movie? What started as absurd comedy has quietly aged into social commentary. It's funny until it's familiar. A film about anti-intellectualism, corporate overreach, and leadership by spectacle feels, well, a little too close to home in a world where policy can shift culture overnight. Come laugh, come think, come sit with the uncomfortable question of how close ridiculous is to real. And most importantly, come and breathe and enjoy the chaos together. The RSVP is open. Now, if you're new here and wondering how to get connected with our community, follow the link on the screen to meet us on our global campus. It's a virtual space where our members from around the planet gather to connect to the mission and each other. There are clubs, events, and activities that you can plug into and start building new friendships while helping building community together. The most important first step is, of course, introducing yourself. It helps us to get to know you, and it helps you feel like you're entering a real community, not a comment section. So, as soon as you can, head to the new member introductions area. Say hey. Now, if you've been hanging around for a while and are ready to help shape the Sunday experience, here are the clubs where you can plug in. Weekend Warriors. That's helping out on the stage or in chat on Sundays. There's also the Comms Club. That's helping out with community emails and social media content. Of course, you can always join the Production Club. That helps with the production of Sunday sessions. These teams turn ideas into reality, and we'd love to see more of you step into the mix. Now, if Sunday session content just isn't enough for you, feel free to check out some recently released videos. Darante LaMar came and spoke on the Mississippi State University campus back in October. Videos from his presentation, Confessions of an Ex-Pastor, and the discussion audience question and answer that followed are now available. And if you're a student looking for secular community, check out the Secular Student Alliance. They can help you build a bridge on your campus. That's everything for this week. This is a great opportunity to share the stream before the conversation starts. And if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you for being the bridge. Let's get to the conversation. Back to you, Darante.
All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day, a productive day. I am so excited about today's conversation. It's our series finale for Life's Big Questions. But before we get into all of that, man, I get such a kick out of watching Bridge City News. I don't know if y'all do, but for me, I be over here like cheesing like a big old kid, man, just because like our team put so much work into that. Like, I'm always amazed when I can look at stuff that I didn't do. You know, I didn't make that happen. Somebody else made that happen. And it just looks so wonderful. And those those watch party clips that you put in there are dope. I love it. I love it. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Sessions. Welcome to Bridge City. I'm so glad to be here with you and to see you in the chat and to engage with you. If this is your first time here, we have a special gift for you. If this is your first time joining us for a Sunday session, we have a gift for you. The link is on the screen. Follow that link, and then you're going to get a gift, and you're going to like the gift. It's going to help you. As the church folks say, it's going to bless your life, going to bless you real good. But no, it's our way of saying thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for checking this out. So if you're a first-time guest, go there, follow that link, and we're going to get that gift for you. All right, so we've been in Life's Big Questions this is our 4th week now. And man, this has been an amazing series because the whole point of this series is to really kind of help us all get oriented in answering really life's big questions, especially for those of us who are living post-faith, post-religion. And that's really the thing, you know, you can mess around and get stuck in anti. And the problem with anti is you never move beyond. And so we put together this series to help people move beyond. A major part of the value system of Bridge City is that we are progressive thinking, people-centric, and life-affirming. I'm thinking about changing the wording of progressive thinking to forward thinking, to help people understand that, yes, we are progressive. And the point of the progressiveness of who we are is to help people move forward. You know what I'm saying? We don't want people to be stuck. We want to help people move forward. So this series has been exciting because we've tackled so many big questions, right? We've dealt with identity, we've dealt with fear, we've dealt with morality. Last week we dealt with ethics. You know, today we're going to be dealing with meaning and existence. Next week we're starting a new series. So this is the series finale, but next week we're starting Falling in Love with Reason. All February long. Man, we're going to be falling in love, but we're going to be falling in love with reason. I don't know how many of y'all remember there used to be this old song called Falling in Love with Jesus is the best thing I've ever done. Well, we're going to talk about falling in love with reason and how it's the best thing that we've ever done. We're going to be talking about all different types of relationships, our friendships, our kinships, our partnerships, and then even our membership with community. And I'm telling you, it's not just going to be informative. It's going to be one hell of a good time, if I can say so myself. All right. And then the last thing that I want to say, like, I know we already had announcements and I'm showing up giving you extra announcements. What can I say? It's the preacher in me. Are you coming to movie night next weekend? You gotta be at movie night. You gotta be at, listen, I'm trying to be happy, but listen, you gotta be at movie night next week. I love Bob's phrasing of it. It's funny until it's familiar. So we started doing movie night 2 months ago. This is going to be our third one. And for this one, we're doing Idiocracy. And if you're a member of Bridge City, if you're part of the global campus, we have a form on the global campus where you can apply, if you will, to join the stage with us for discussion for this one. Because I definitely want to talk about this one, man. I definitely want to talk about this one. And it's funny until it's familiar. Like, I really wanted to be really excited about talking about Idiocracy. I was actually planning on us like having a really good time, laughing and joking, but using Bob's words, it's funny until it's familiar. And just kind of reflecting over this week's news and things that have happened this week. It's funny until it's familiar. And so while movie night is a time for us to have fun, to kick back, relax, it's also a time for us to exist as a community in real time. And so it's going to be fun. We're going to laugh, but we're also going to talk about things because, again, it's funny until it's familiar, right? So please join us for movie night. We're watching Idiocracy. We're going to laugh to keep from crying, all right? All right, so let's kind of jump into this for today. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for the series finale of Life's Big Questions? I don't know if y'all are, but I am. I'm excited about this because this has been one incredible series. Can I get a hell yeah in the chat? If you think this series has just been top notch, like one of our best, I thought Flight School was off the chain. You know what I'm saying? But I think we kind of outdid ourselves with Life's Big Questions, and I cannot wait for you all to see what we're going to do with this series because we got some more planned for you. Yeah. All right. So let's jump into this. All superstitious and supernatural claims that I've encountered, religious or otherwise, have all been the product of what I like to call unearned certainty. This is borrowed confidence mistaken as knowledge. One of the ways I help people navigate existential fear of uncertainty is by helping them realize that they were only pretending to be certain in the first place. The uncertainty has always been there. You just didn't have the freedom to voice it. And I want to make sure that we're hearing that. The uncertainty has always been there. You just didn't have the freedom to voice it. And now that you have the freedom to voice it, that freedom brings you the responsibility to face it. The funny thing about illusions is that they are not real. They're illusions. So when they shatter, nothing actually changes. You're just now allowing yourself to process reality unfiltered, and that's quite uncomfortable. There was a time in my life, I tell y'all, like, my life ain't been no crystal stairway. There was a time in my life where things were really hard. I told my family and I, we were living in a single wide trailer, and it's 6 of us. Like, we're not a small family. We're the Black Brady Bunch. You know what I'm saying? There's 6 of us. We're living in a small, single wide, 2-bedroom trailer. And it was like, ooh, rough. Like, it was rough. And it was around income tax time. Hello. And I was expecting like a considerable amount of income tax on my return. And that income tax check ended up being taken. Never made it to my bank account. It got taken because I had neglected to do some paperwork for my student loans. And so my student loans were officially in default. And so that big check that I was expecting to get us out of this really rough situation did not come. And as you can imagine, I was devastated. Like, oh my goodness. Like I was ugly face crying, devastated. I'm not gonna lie. Now I called one of my homies and I was like, bruh, you're not gonna believe what just happened. I thought we were about out of this situation, and now it's gone. Like I am bawling tears. I am devastated, you know? But I eventually had to come to terms with the fact that the devastation was an illusion sustained by disappointment. I was devastated because I was disappointed, but my disappointment was based on an illusion. Okay. The illusion was I didn't have the money. I thought I had the money, felt like I had the money. The money was on its way, money cometh, right? That was an illusion. The illusion, like there's an old saying, like you counting it before you got it type of thing. And then that was the thing. Like I saw it on the IRS website. So I'm like, yeah, that's it. But if it's not in your hand, you don't have it yet, right? So watch this. I didn't lose the money. We never had the money. I felt like it was a setback. That's why I was devastated. I felt like I was a setback. I felt like it was a setback, but it wasn't a setback because nothing had actually changed about our situation. Situation was still the same. We did not move forward. We did not move backward. The only thing that changed in that moment was that it was what I was willing to confront and consider. Okay? One of the most insidious things about identifying as a believer is that when you no longer believe, you often search for a new security blanket of unearned certainty to retreat to when the uncertainty inevitably peeks through. So watch this. The commitment becomes not that I'm not believing anymore, but that I'm not pretending anymore. I'm not pretending that I've ever had a good reason to believe that there was a heaven or a hell. I'm not pretending that I was ever certain that there was a perfect plan for my life that was designed in advance. No, I was never certain. I was constantly questioning, consistently uncertain, but persistently pretending, believing by faith. Got it? Pastors' offices during moments of counsels, either upwards or downwards, reveal the overwhelming amount of uncertainty disguised as faith, and healing, restoration, and growth begins in calling it what it was. Because when you do that, all of a sudden you remember all of the times you had faith and still had the suicidal thoughts. You remember all of the times you prayed through the pain and still had to be left with the shame. You remember all the times that you gave God all of the praise and yourself none of the credit. You remember all of the times that you danced like David and was still damned if you did and damned if you didn't. You remember all the times you had the joy of the Lord and still couldn't keep yourself from crying yourself to sleep at night. Now you just no longer have the security blanket to retreat into. It's the same uncertainty, but now it has responsibility attached. And that's where the difference is. That's where the discomfort is that I can no longer pretend to know what I actually don't know. I can no longer pretend to be certain about things that I have not earned that certainty. This is a great place to drop the title of today's talk. I'm done pretending. Go ahead and let somebody know that in the chat. Tag somebody and let them know, like, no, I'm done. I'm done pretending. I don't have to pretend anymore. That's the difference between where I was and where I am, is that where I was is that I was okay with pretending. I thought that's what everybody was doing. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to pretend. What did they say? Fake it until you make it. No, baby, later for that. I'm not doing that anymore. I am done pretending. I'm done. I'm done pretending. That's today's talk. That's today's conversation. The danger of deconstruction in debate culture is that your deconstruction becomes a defensive posture instead of a progressive strategy. It becomes a defensive posture instead of a progressive strategy. It becomes what I no longer want to be as opposed to who I am becoming, what I am working on. It becomes what I am tearing down more so than what I am building up. So you stay stuck fighting conversations in your mind that in no way moves you forward, provides you fulfillment, or helps anyone else in any meaningful way, leading to one of two outcomes. You either become terrified of your own existence and retreat into a bubble, which we've seen, or you become a cautionary tale for believers to point to. Oh, you see what happened to them? You see, they stopped believing in God, and now such and such, such and such, such and such, you fill in the blanks. I waited 10 years to publicly launch Bridge City because I realized very early that the point would have to be bigger than just the problems of religion or even the principles of truth. Like when I initially started Bridge City, it wasn't called Bridge City. It was called Truth Nation. Ain't that nice? That's nice, right? Truth Nation, that's all big and stuff. No, it was called Truth Nation because my knee-jerk reaction to deconstructing as a pastor was that, oh no, now that we've believed all of these lies, we need something, we need the truth now. And so, but then the problem became, who is the barometer of truth? What is the barometer of truth? And what happens after that? So I realized that the point has to be bigger than just the problems of religion or even just the principles of truth. It's not that these things were not necessary. It was that introducing people to the truth in a society built on loyalty to illusions without providing them a soft place to land and new space to live was both dangerous and irresponsible. I waited 10 years to launch because I realized that just taking people's security blanket in a society that rewards people for their illusions is not only dangerous, but it's irresponsible. I wrestled with the ethics and consequences of taking someone's security blanket without offering any sense of security in exchange. You know, some people are driven into isolation and depression. That matters to me. Some are driven into even more dangerous identity-based ideologies. That matters to me. Do you know how many people, especially in the Black church, can I talk about the Black church for a minute? You know how many people woke up, got woke in the Black church, stay woke, got woke, realized Christianity is an illusion, bad. It's bad. It teaches bad things. Stay away. And then immediately left Christianity and went into something like Black Hebrew Israelitism or go into something like Moorish identity. Because if the goal is to be helpful, damn it, this is good. If the goal is to be helpful, then it's not just about what we can take from you. It's what we can put back in its place. Man, this is good. So you get some that are driven into more dangerous identity-based ideologies because it seems that the only people that are gathering, that are communing, are the people who are gathering over bullshit. Damn, I didn't mean to cuss this early. I'm sorry. Can I get a hell yeah? Jalapeno, habanero. Some are driven into practices of no utility, right? Practices of no utility, whether those are spiritual practices, whether they're practical practices, whether they're metaphysical practices, you get so caught up and so lost in what didn't work that you find yourself stuck in doing stuff that still don't work. Some are driven to self-destruction. Don't know how to even face life after that. You've just shattered their whole illusion. They don't even know what they're looking at anymore. And then some are driven to become lone wolves. Either way, you end up with further fragmentation of people while unhealthy systems continue to thrive without alternatives. And as we learned last week, the only thing required for bad things to continue to spiral is for good people not to associate, not to organize, and not to mobilize around two things. What are they? Reducing harm and increasing happiness. So that's what I realized. The point had to be bigger than just what's wrong with religion, because what's wrong with religion is that it claims to be reducing harm while increasing harm. Oh my goodness. So our mission is not just, listen to me, Bridge City. No, I go hard on Monday through Friday. I do. I go hard in the paint. I get it. But our mission as Bridge City isn't to be anti-religion. Our mission as Bridge City isn't to be the debate bro culture. Our mission as Bridge City isn't to help you own believers. Our mission is to create better ways to connect, better ways to build, so that we can all find better ways to live. That's the big point. Goodness gracious. Now, that's the big point. Why do I want people to be set free from religious indoctrination? Because I want them to be able to live better. Is that good, y'all? Like, that's the big point. That's the big point. Because that was the revelation I had, That was, y'all know, I don't hide nothing about my past. I was a black nationalist. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the type that was like, white folks are the devil, but I rolled with the folks who were like, white folks are the devil. You know what I'm saying? I was a black nationalist. And my biggest concern as a black nationalist was like, how will my children be treated in this world? That's literally what drives my work, is that I have 4 beautiful children that have to live in this world, And so the more I thought about that, I began to ask myself, like, what needs to happen for my children to be safe in this world? What needs to happen for my children to be able to navigate this world without fear of losing their life? And it's such a heavy subject, such a heavy topic. I know what needs to happen. And my answer, and I'm a sociologist, so my answers be different, What needs to happen for my children to be safe is everybody needs to be safe. I know that's a big ask. It's a big ask. I get it. It's damn near supernatural. It damn near requires a miracle, but someone has to start working in that direction. That's why our mission is for people to connect better and to build better so that we can live better. We're mobilizing around reducing harm and increasing happiness. Why do people do bad things? Why do bad things happen in society? At the end of the day, it's a safety problem. People don't feel safe. People are terrified. And they're lashing out in the most dangerous ways. Oh, I love that. We'll never get closer to better if we don't try. So I'm not surprised at the bad news. And man, there's plenty of bad news. There's plenty of bad news, but there's always been plenty of bad news. I'm not surprised at the bad news. That's why we keep showing up with the good news. We show up every weekend to remind people that you're not some non-playable character in the game of life. You are here and you are able to make a difference. And we're going to remind you every chance you get. I know you may feel like you are by yourself, but baby, you are not alone. You are here and we are right here beside you. And we as a community are going to get through this together. We're not going to get through this by always crying over what has happened. We're going to get through this by learning how to respond. We're going to get through this by learning how to organize. We're going to get through this by learning how to reduce harm and increase happiness. Damn it, I didn't mean to be preaching this early. All right, let's jump into it. We got stuff to get into. we got stuff to get into. Yes, we're showing up with the good news. And the good news is we're going to do something. We're going to do something. Look at that. We just got a new YouTube member, Jalapeno. Come on now. Habanera. All right, let's go. Let's go. So we're closing out this series, Life's Big Questions. And today I want to go deep for a little bit, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, let's deal with some of these questions. Because, man, looking at everything that we're looking at, if you don't have a God to believe in, if you don't have a religion that's telling you how to respond, like, how do you deal with life's big questions? And like, here's one of those questions is, if there is no divine plan, what even makes life meaningful? If I love it. If there's no divine plan, what makes a life meaningful at all? All right. This is where I want to drop my first big point of today's conversation. What if progress could be the point? Because that's the question is, what is the point? And I'm suggesting that progress could be the point. Let me explain. I'm not necessarily saying that progress is the point. I'm suggesting that it could be, right? Progress could be the point. I mean, when you think about it, when you allow yourself to wrestle with the reality of no currently discernible plan, progress is always an option. In that sense, progress could be the point, at least until you discover a point worth attaching to. Imagine it this way. You wake up in the middle of a desert all by yourself with no discernible sense of direction. What do? You wake up in the middle of a desert. Maybe you drank a little too much last night, okay, and lost your little sense of self, and you wake up in the middle of a desert all by yourself, no discernible sense of direction. What do you do? Well, you see, from my perspective, the options are fairly simple. You either sit there and die, or you start walking until you find something worth walking for. When knowing the point isn't yet an option, progress still is. When I was a pastor, one of my favorite fables to preach. Now, I'm still a preacher. I'm just not a pastor anymore. I'm not shepherding anybody. You better shepherd yourself, okay? So when I was a pastor, one of my favorite fables to preach from, notice how I called it a fable? One of my favorite fables to preach from was an obscure story in the Bible about 4 leprous dudes who had a decision to make. And forgive me if some of you are going to be triggered by this, just close your eyes and don't look at it. But this is from the Bible, but it's just a fable. It's a story. The Bible is a fable, okay? And I just want to take this fable, this story, look at it. Now, it says this. I love this story. Now, there were 4 leprous men at the entrance of the gate, and they said to one another, why do we sit here until we die? If we say we will enter the city, then the famine is in the city, and we're going to die there. And if we sit here, we're going to die also. Now, therefore, come and let us go over to the camp. And if they spare us, we'll live. And if they kill us, we will but die. So listen. In other words, if we're going to die, if we don't do something, and we might die if we do something, then we might as well die trying. Y'all don't hear me out there. That's a perfect place for a hell yeah. No. If we're going to die if we don't do something, and we might die if we do something, then we might as well die trying. They were lepers. They were in a famine, but they determined that progress would be the point. I don't have to pretend to know what meaning will come to not understand what meaning will not. No meaning will come from just sitting here and giving up. That's not happening. But some meaning might come from making some progress in all of this mess. You know what I'm saying? When faced with the possibility of failure, these leprous dudes decided that we're not going to idle. We're going to progress. Watch the rational process. If we go in, we could die. If we stay here, we could die. Now, therefore, come, let us go. I know people are wondering sometimes, Darante, why are you doing so much? Why are you always launching something new? Why are you always talking about something new? What in the world is going on with you? Well, I'm like those four leprous dudes with a decision to make. I can either sit here and die, or I can get up and do something. Now, listen now. I'm going to tell you something very private about me. Dementia runs in my family. So I only got a limited amount of time to use this mind. So while I'm here, I'm going to do something with it, and you ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. I'm going to keep on keeping on. Why? Because, like, listen, I can't control what will happen, and I cannot control what won't happen. But I do know that if I never get up and get in the ring, if I never get up and try, if I never get up and apply myself, then I'll never know what I'm capable of. I'll never know what's possible. So yes, that's why I launched Bridge City Sunday Sessions after 10 years of study and planning, in spite of knowing the ridicule, the skepticism, and the cynicism that it would attract from all sides. The Christians are looking like, what is he doing? The atheists are looking like, what is he doing? But I don't care. I'm not about to sit here and die just to make somebody else feel comfortable with my story. I'm going to get up and do something. I wish I had somebody out there. This is why I'm paying for it and building out the global campus experience as if we have hundreds of volunteers and thousands of members, even though it's just a handful of us right now. Why would you do all of that? Because the options are simple. I could just sit here and die, or I can start walking until I find something worth walking for. And what you see when you see me is you found somebody who's found something worth walking for. You're looking at somebody who's found something worth living for. No, I'm a man on fire, baby. I'm alive. I set myself on fire every Sunday so that other folks can come and watch me burn and start asking themselves, damn, where's my fire at? You know, this is why I'm planning on launching a minimum of 3 Bridge City physical campuses by the end of 2026. I ain't got the money. Nope. Don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm planning on it because the options are simple. Sit here and die, or die trying. Oh my goodness. That's what life is for me. Life is dying trying. Y'all don't want to talk to me out there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I got to use this mind. If I'm going to die anyway. That's why I like this. That's why I like the story of the 4 lepers. I like this story. Y'all see it brought the preacher out of me, didn't it? I like the story. Can I get a hell yeah? If I'm going to die anyway, I'd rather die trying than die giving up. If life is going to hurt sometimes anyway, I'd rather it hurt while I'm moving forward than it hurts while I'm moving backwards. Y'all don't want to talk to me. Either way, we might just lose, but I'm not just going to go out. I'm not going out just sitting here. Go ahead and tag somebody real quick and say, I ain't going out. I'm not going out like that. Progress is always an option. No. Okay, yeah. And I want to say this for somebody, like, because too many times, like, one of the bad habits I had is I treated every setback like a real setback, and it's not even a setback. It's just something that happened. And when you do that, what'll end up happening, you'll start defining yourself by failures. But failure is not an identity; it's an event. Failure is not who you are; it is what happened. All right. And so some people are getting immobilized by failure. You're afraid to fall. Well, baby, if you're going to fall anyway, you might as well fall forward. Come on now. Y'all better talk to me out there. Damn, I wish we were in the room together, because this is so good. I'm not going out just sitting here. So what? I don't know the meaning of life. That don't mean I just got to sit here. Whoa. So what? Someone else hasn't given me the meaning. That don't mean I can't make meaning on my own. That doesn't mean that I can't determine what's meaningful for me. Like hell, I'm only going to be here, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, maybe 100 if I'm lucky. That's all the meaning I need right up in there. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the good news. Here's the good news. This is the best news you've had all week. I'm about to give you some good news. Y'all lean in. I can see you. Lean in. I'm just playing. I can't see you. But lean in anyway. The good news is you didn't wake up in the middle of a desert with no discernible sense of direction. Neither are you a leper in a famine. So I get it. You might not have all the answers, but you would be intellectually dishonest if you didn't admit that we have a lot more answers today than we started with, and a hell of a lot more than we once pretended to have. So even if you haven't figured out the ultimate point, whatever the hell that is, maybe in the meantime, progress could be the point. Let's get a definition for progress, so I don't run the risk of not giving you something to chew on. Progress is meaningful change over time toward an intended outcome. That could be the point. Making meaningful change over time toward an intended outcome. Now that's the clean definition. Here's a few useful ways to kind of frame that. There is directional progress. Okay. Directional progress is you are moving closer to a goal. Which goal? It don't really matter. Pick one. Pick a goal. Move closer to it. All right. One of my goals is to keep my blood pressure down. All right. That's why I don't argue with people. I'm not about to die over you. Like, no, I gotta keep my blood pressure down. That's a goal. It may not be meaningful to you, but it's meaningful to me, jalapeno. You get what I'm saying? There's also developmental progress. You're becoming more capable, all right, in skills, in clarity, discipline, maturity. Okay. There's also structural progress. This is one of my favorite. As a systems thinker, this is one of my favorite. Structural process, becoming a part of systems and improving them. Better process, better tools, better teams, better routines, and better infrastructure. And then there's also measured progress. You can prove change with indicators, whether they're numbers, milestones, or evidence. See, there's so many different ways to progress. There's even experiential progress, like where life feels more workable for you, less chaos, more stability, and more agency. That's the area that I thrive in right there. That's the most important progress to me, is that my life feels like it's more workable. I shared with y'all a few months back, kind of like what I call my mastermind strategy. And it's my goal. It's the thing that I've been working on, the framework that I created by myself, created for myself rather, once realizing that, like, D, your life doesn't collaborate with you. Anybody ever been there before? Anybody ever been there before where you realize, like, my life, hell, it don't even collaborate. Not watch this. Not only does life not collaborate, it don't even operate with me. It don't cooperate with me, right? Like, I really my life does not cooperate with me. It does not collaborate with me. I'm not in that place in life. Like if there's things that I want to do that I can just do, my life is not going to cooperate. It's not going to work that way. And so I needed to move my life from chaos to cooperation. You know what I'm saying? To move life from competing with me to collaborating with me. Damn, I don't want to go deep here, but shit, this ain't even in my notes, but I feel like this is good, right? Like, I felt like life was competing with me. Like, life is out here beating my ass. And then I kind of had this thought, like, maybe it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe there's a way to shift this from competition to collaboration, that I'm not fighting against the waves. Man, this is some good stuff. And so I designed a framework to help me do that. The first part of that framework was nutrition. Number one, and I'm a stickler about this. Like, everybody said they want to be my friend. I'm probably one of the most boring people you'll ever be around in real life. I say that, but I'm actually a hoot. That's the truth. I can't even get it out with a straight face. But like, when I'm at home, constantly listening to stuff that I feel can make me better. That's nutrition. That's the nutrition aspect. But then there's also a support aspect. And this is what we're going to be talking about all next month when we're talking about falling in love with reason. All of my relationships have to make sense. One of the ways I protect my peace is I don't have anybody in my life that drains me. damn, y'all, I didn't mean to go here. But no, like I don't have people in my life that drain me. Like one of the things that deconstruction gave me was the right to determine what I like and what I don't like. It was the right to determine who I like and who I don't like. Was the right to navigate my life the way that I saw fit. And so I started realizing, like, damn, D, part of the reason you are going out of your mind, and I was, is because you got so many people in your life for no reason. And some of these people are taking more from you than you're even noticing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I hope this is good, man. I hope this is good. All right, so back to progress. Back to progress. Y'all just got a little bit of coaching right there. Back to progress. No. You can be who? Man, I take responsibility for my life. I don't have people in my life that drain me. I don't have people in my life that, I don't want to say I don't have people in my life that use me. I don't mind being used if I can use you too. Habanero, you know? But I don't have anybody in my life that drains me. Like we're not going to play that game. We're not going to do that. Watch this. I don't owe you that. Right? All right. So a simple test, back to progress. Come on, let's go back. A simple test. If the goal is clear, then progress is distance closed. Closing distance between where you are and what you're aiming for. If the goal is unclear, because that's going to be the question, but what if I don't have a clear goal? If the goal is unclear, progress is simply clarity gained and options improved. So taking it back to the space is, if I don't know the meaning of everything, if I don't know what's the point of existing, then your first assignment is to figure it out. I don't know is not a stopping point. Oh man, yeah. I don't know is not the finish line. I don't know is the launching pad. There's nothing shameful about I don't know, right? But after the I don't know, the next question is, do I care to know? And if you care to know, then the question of what you don't know is an assignment for your life. I can figure it out. Now, I may not figure it out all tomorrow. I may not figure it out the day after that, but I've now given myself something that I care about that I can figure out. Or you can be honest with yourself, and I share this because I want people to really get it. You know, you can be like, I don't know, and I actually don't care. There are some people who actually care about whether or not we're alone in the universe. There's some people who actually care about whether or not, about how the universe was created and how we got here and all of that stuff. They're called astronomers. You know what I'm saying? Goodness gracious. Like, okay, all right. So listen, even if progress isn't the point, if there is a point, progress is the only thing that's going to get you closer to it. Does that make sense? Even if progress isn't a point, you find out later that, dang, the point wasn't progress. If you don't know the point now, progress is the only thing that's going to get you closer to the point. Dang. All right. So let's hit this next question. The next question is, how do we live fully in a world that offers no guarantees of fairness, justice, or reward? Because that's the next one. The first one is like, okay, if there's no meaning, what do we do? But now, if there's no guarantee of fairness, no guarantee of justice, no guarantee could be permission to perform. You ever thought about that? The no guarantee is not the gotcha that some people think it is. No, the no guarantee could be permission to perform. Listen, if nothing is guaranteed, and this just might be my neurospicy, so this may not make sense to nobody else but me. But when I said it to myself, I was like, damn, that's good. Okay. If nothing is guaranteed, then nothing ever was guaranteed. Okay. No. If nothing is guaranteed, then nothing ever was guaranteed. And yet we somehow existed and persisted. That was the thought experiment I had, like at the moment that I was coming to terms with the fact that, like, yeah, I think I'm an atheist. The moment I was coming to terms with that, it was like, if God doesn't exist, then God has never existed. And yet we've been here. You see what I'm saying? So if there is no guarantee of fairness, justice, or reward, then all there is opportunity to occupy. I'd like to suggest that our deepest fear with this question is not hopelessness, but the fear of our own inadequacy. It's not hopelessness that drives this question. It's the fear of our own inadequacy. Dang, it's the fear that if the problems are not already fixed and the ending is not already planned, then that leaves us responsible for wrestling with the problems and writing out the plan. It's not hopelessness that drives this question. It's fear. If there is nobody else who's taking care of this, then that means we got to do it. That's not hopelessness. That's fear that we can't do it. If there's no guarantee, then the outcomes are on us. So the crippling anxiety that many encounter when coming to terms with the possible absence of God is actually performance anxiety. Oh, this is good. Performance anxiety is the fear of being evaluated and not measuring up when you have to perform or produce results. The idea of not having someone in the clouds watching out for you, correcting your wrongs, making sure that what goes around comes back around, then all of those expectations then become human obligations. And within us, what we often think is this hopelessness, that what we're saying when we say there is no hope, what we're saying is that if the God that I believed in is not doing it, then nobody's doing it. If God isn't going to take care of people, then people aren't going to be taken care of. But the thing is, if God never existed, if God doesn't exist, then God never existed. Then when people were getting taken care of, it was never God doing it. It's always been us. The good, the bad, the ugly, it's always been us. This is performance anxiety. It normally shows up as the pressure to be perfect, the fear of failure or embarrassment, worrying about judgment, real or imagined, overthinking, freezing, and avoiding, and then even physical symptoms like a racing heart, shaky hands, nausea, tight chest, and even sweating. It's the specific fear that if there's no guarantee or safety net, then the outcome depends on you, and you might not be enough to carry it. Now, the reason I'm highlighting this is because once we confront it, we can clearly see what we had before the anxiety was avoidance. What you're dealing with now, if you're feeling the anxiety of there being no guarantees of goodness or no guarantees of justice, what I'd like to remind you of is that the guarantees did not exist when you believed in them either. That was the illusion. The illusion has been shattered, but the world has not changed, beloved. It's still the same world that it always was. The illusion was allowing you to avoid looking at it. So the feeling you have now is anxiety because you're no longer avoiding it. Me and Zernial was talking this morning because he asked me how I was doing, and I was about to say, man, I'm doing great. But I couldn't even get the words in my mouth because, listen, I am doing great. I am doing wonderful. But, bruh, a lot of people are heartbroken. It's hard watching people lose their lives on television. You know, it's hard. And a lot of people who had the comfort, who had the privilege, who had the luxury of looking away before, they don't have it anymore. And it's hard. My heart goes out to every life lost and to everybody who's having to look at it for the first time. I come from a culture where I've been having to look at it for so long that there's songs about it. Strange fruit, indeed. So it's not new to me. I'm not one of those people that's just like, oh, America has gotten bad. This is the same fucking America it's always been. You just never had to look at it. You had the privilege of avoiding it. You had the security of unearned certainty. Can't avoid it now. That's the discomfort that we're feeling. That's the anxiety. Because now it means if there is no God, you actually have to do something. You weren't anxious about it before because the illusion of it being someone else's responsibility allowed you to avoid it altogether. Well, God is going to take care of it. Karma always comes back around. They'll reap what they sow. The system always works out. In this way, religion often operated as a drug that robbed us of the responsibility to inspect and perform according to the results. The most effective way to convince you that someone else has to do it is to first convince you that you've already been disqualified, that you don't have what it takes, that you are inherently flawed and incapable of doing anything of significance. And even when you let go of a belief in a specific idea or power, you don't automatically gain belief in yourself. You know? So while you may no longer believe in the mythology of religion, you still accept the superstition of your inadequacy that it gave you. That you are somehow broken, that you are somehow incapable of making a difference, that you are somehow insignificant, that you somehow do not matter. You are matter. How could you not matter? I love science. You see what I did there? You are matter. How could you not matter? What many confuse as a fear of not knowing is actually just the pressure to perform in disguise. The fear of not knowing the answers is the uncomfortable freedom to pursue them. The fear of no guaranteed justice or meaning is the uncomfortable freedom to define and defend both on your own terms. That pressure is the illusion that you had peace before. Oh, I got to say that again. That pressure that you're feeling is the illusion that you had peace before. You didn't have peace. You had excuses. Something damn near paradoxical happens when we embrace a world with no guarantees. We become bigger and smaller at the same time. When you embrace a world with no guarantees, when you embrace a world free of having to be certain about things that you're not certain about, we become bigger and smaller at the same time. No longer the center of the universe, but now singularly responsible for everything in it. That's the feeling. That's that overwhelming pressure you're feeling. This thing like, oh my goodness, we're not the center of the universe anymore. We're quite small, as a matter of fact. But all of a sudden, our responsibility grows because we've been so used to outsourcing it. That's what's driving some of you crazy right now. You're too small and too big at the same time. Damn, that's good. That's literally what's driving some of you. That's why you can't sleep at night, tossing and turning, shaking and rocking. It's because you are too big and too small at the same time. You have these big dreams. You have these big ambitions. You have these big ideas. You have this humongous heart to help as many people as you can help, but you feel trapped in these small circumstances, too big and too small at the same time. Damn, this is good. Like I really want to preach right here so bad to some folk who feel like they're stuck there, that I'm too big and I'm too small at the same time. What do you do when your dreams are bigger than you feel like your capacity? You get connected. Yeesh, this is good. Okay. I cannot wait until we're all in the room together. When we all get together, what a time. All right, I went back to church. Okay, so a part of the problem is that you are now expecting your singular existence to now make sense of what was once your acceptance of a universal framework. You're trying to fit, and I mean, go ahead with your bad self, but you're trying to fit the solutions to universal problems in a singular vessel. You're holding yourself responsible for knowing everything just out of that one life. Can I just tell you, and I'm not discouraging you from trying to know everything. No, go for it. Go. But you just you. And you're beautiful, you're powerful, you're capable. You know? But you don't have to carry that alone. You're judging your personal library against the standards of universal knowledge. You're judging yourself for not knowing how the universe came to be. Can I put you on game real quick? We not there yet, homie. We don't know. We trying to figure it out. You know? You're judging yourself for not having answers that we don't have yet, while simultaneously not trying to get the answers. You see that? I think you might be doing that wrong. Like, if you really, really want to know about the origins of the universe, start studying cosmology. Start studying astronomy. Start studying physics. And then astrophysics. And then quantum physics. And some of y'all done figured out you don't give a damn already. It's like, oh, no, that list is too damn long. I don't care that much. Somebody else gonna figure that out. Let somebody else do it. You know? And I mean, and that's really the disingenuousness of these types of questions sometimes, is that you're allowing people to get you caught up in stuff that you don't even really care about. You know what I'm saying? You're feeling the pressure to have all of the answers and all of the solutions when that is neither necessary nor efficient. You're holding yourself responsible for outcomes that are bigger than your individual capacity to contribute. That's a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself. I have a very low pressure leadership style. Very, very, very low pressure leadership style. Number one, it's because I got high blood pressure and I can be a jackass. And you know, who wants that? Who wants the jackass with high blood pressure in a high pressure leadership role? Like, no. Actually, number one, we don't generate enough revenue to pay people. So I don't feel like I'm obligated to set high expectations on other people's time in this phase. You know, that's the humanity in me. Some people mistake it for weakness, but it's like, no, if I'm not paying people, I don't get to demand their time. You know, Like that's what I say. I'm not a pastor anymore. Like as a pastor, I'd be like, no, you're gonna do this because I'm me, and the Lord is, whatever. But no. If I'm not paying you, you doing this at your, at your will, and that's how I have to respect that. But it's also because what I see is bigger than where we currently are, too big and too small at the same time. What I see is so much bigger than where we are. And so why would I put on us the pressure of being when we're still in the process of becoming? I can't put the pressure and that's, for parents out there, it's just a little reminder, maybe a suggestion. Be very careful with putting the pressure of being on your children when they're still becoming. So I have a low pressure leadership style because we're still becoming. You're not getting pressure from me while we're becoming. You're getting permission to explore the mission and vision, to choose your spot and do you. In my mind, it's too early for the outcomes to be significant because there's still a deficit in the occupancy. Ashley does an incredible job as our head of community. But what Ashley does today pales in comparison to what Ashley will be able to do when her role is supported by a team of leaders and directors responsible for day-to-day execution. I can't judge her by tomorrow. Ashley today transformed a new, strange, and blank virtual campus into a central hub of activity through clubs and events. Like seriously, I don't know if you know, but our global campus has a 71% active rate. 71%. That ain't 71%. That means 71% of our connected global members are engaging the global campus regularly. That's what Ashley of today did. Ashley tomorrow is training launch teams in Malaysia, Ethiopia, Japan, Kenya, Canada, and the UK. Zernial does an amazing job as our head of production. But I'd be a fool to judge him by what can be done today, knowing full well that 3 established campuses, a production budget, and a competent team of operators will unlock a horde of award-winning skits, music videos, and full-scale movies and documentaries from that maniacal mastermind of a man. We're not there yet, but we're not that far away either. Tomorrow is still tomorrow. What I'm trying to say is that many times the self-imposed pressure you're feeling in life is often based on a version of you that has connections and systems that the present you doesn't yet have. And once you see that, you'll let go of the pressure to be in exchange for the permission to become. Every time I'm tempted to stress about the production quality of my weekly content, because that's still just me. So it's not going to be great. So every time I'm tempted to stress about the production quality of my weekly content, I remind myself of 3 things. Number 1, I'm not the production expert. That's not me. I'm not that guy. Do you know how much time I'd have to put in? And this is what's wrong with some of you, man. You minimize the value of work. This is why you think it's just so easy for everybody to do something. I'm not going to disrespect. This is too good. I'm not going to disrespect production experts by pretending like I can just pick it up in 5 minutes and add it in between everything that I'm already doing. So no, I am not a production expert. Number 2, people are not coming to me for production advice. That's a good one, right? And number 3, I'm creating room for partnership with the production experts. If this is what I've been able to do with just one Power Ranger in the Megazord, just imagine what happens when all of us are in our position through our intentional connections. Like, for those of you who've been watching Sunday sessions for a while, can't you tell the difference? Like, oh my goodness. Flight school, I think Zernial joined right at flight school, right a little bit before starting flight school. Zernial joined the team. took over production stuff. And honestly, right now, the stuff he's doing right now isn't even technically production. We need more people on the team so he can actually get in his seat. Like even Ashley right now, like some of the stuff she's doing, she can't even do the stuff that she gonna do because she got to get in her seat because we need more people on the team. So that's your little invite to get on the team. You know what I'm saying? But just see, if you see the difference between Sunday sessions last year and what it feels like now that Zernial is on the team, Ashley's on the team, Bob is on the team. It's not it's shifting what we're able to do. What did I say last week? Community compounds impact. It scales our ability to do stuff. Man, this is good. Okay. So like last year, it was just one person in the Megazord. That was me, just the Black Ranger. I'm just the Black Ranger. Even though I always did want to be the White Ranger, I was so mad that they made him the White Ranger and he was the dopest Ranger because now I got to be out here like white power. That's not cool. That's not cool. Okay. Anyway, so I'm the Black Ranger. I'm in the Megazord. I'm by myself last year and we making it. You know, we doing some things, but like you can't expect me to uppercut because like ain't nobody in that arm. But now as we're getting more people in the Megazord, and that's I love the Megazord analogy because that's what community is. As more people get on the team, this Zord can do more stuff. All right. So I don't know enough or have enough to be responsible for the outcomes, but I can be diligent in the responsibility that I've chosen to occupy. I can't be everybody, but I can be me. And what I can commit to is being me today so that others who vibe how I vibe can find me tomorrow. You've got to stop treating life like an evaluation of performance and start treating it like an invitation to participate. We're making progress, not perfection. And progress dies under the pressure to achieve, but it thrives with permission to perform. No guarantees is the reality. No predetermination is the opportunity. Damn, this is some good stuff today. I hope y'all are getting something out of this. Oh, last one. What becomes possible then when meaning is no longer given, but created together? The last point of the day are the possibilities are yours to collaborate. That's the most exciting thing about it. It's also the most terrifying thing about freedom is that the possibilities are yours. They're yours. When I take the long view of history and I think about all of the different careers that exist today, you know, and I grew up in a time and age where people were still saying like, ain't nobody gonna pay you to do this, or that ain't gonna do nothing, that ain't gonna help nobody, don't you do this. But because somebody was willing to like, screw them, I'm gonna do me, kick rocks, whatever, and do it anyway, you have entire careers for things that were once defined as useless. You know, like gaming. Gaming is a career. I'm not mad at that. That's awesome to me. But that's what I mean when I say the possibilities are yours. You know, the possibilities are yours. There are two ideas in this last point. Number one, you're enough to make a difference and generate impact. And I don't know if you've ever heard that before. I don't know if anybody's ever said that to you before. But you are enough to make a difference and generate impact. But number two, that impact is exponentially compounded by your community connections. I said community connections for a reason. I think one of the things we take for granted outside of a religious context is the nature of connection. Social media has created such a distortion in our current perspective that we live in a world where we have literally thousands of connections while still living disconnected. So when I say community connections, I'm not talking about your followers, your friends list, or even your book of contacts. I'm talking about the people who are predisposed to collaborate with your existence. After reviewing several surveys, I've concluded that the measure of a fulfilled or meaningful life is not the number of people who we are surrounded by, but the number of people we can work with. That's a shift that I'd love to see in families. That we're not family just because we're surrounded by each other. We family because we working together. You know? What gives us a meaningful life is not the number of people we're surrounded by. It's the number of people we can work with, the number of people we can call on, the number of people we can depend on, and that can depend on us. The number of people in your life who are willing to collaborate with you on your ideas scales the definition of possibilities in your worldview. You're not lacking a predefined outcome. You're lacking the operating system to deal with a world of variable outcomes and quantum fluctuation. Life isn't where you're condemned. It's where you collaborate. It's where you work with others so that you're in a better position to navigate. It's morphin' time. I had to do that because I saw the Power Rangers thing still going on. It's morphin' time, you know. And here's another little flashback for nostalgia's sake. When our powers combine, we are. Can Captain Planet be like the mascot for Bridge City? Can we do that? Is that in public domain? I think I want Captain Planet to be the mascot for Bridge City, but I kind of want it to be the Don Cheadle version. And if you don't know what the Don Cheadle version of Captain Planet is, bless yourself and look it up. I think I want Captain Planet to be the mascot for Bridge City. When heart, water, fire, earth, wind, maybe? It's in the band. When our powers, is it earth, wind, and fire? And I just threw heart on. Okay, I'm going down a whole rabbit trail. In order to get oh man. In order to get to where we're going, we have to adopt a new operating system. Man. Powers only work in September. Oh my goodness. Maria. Y'all are too much. This is why we got to build local physical campuses, because we gotta be in the building together, man. Combining Care Bears. Oh yeah, because the Care Bear, whether the Care Bear stare or they did something. Oh man. We need a new operating system. See, y'all done got me all off, man. Y'all done got me all off. We need one that values integrity over certainty, permission over pressure, participation over evaluation, community over chaos, progress over paralysis, and collaboration over coping. The end game becomes a meaningful life in a godless world isn't found by discovering some hidden plan. It's built by people who stop pretending, accept responsibility without perfection, and collaborate to reduce harm and increase happiness. And so here's the key. The entire point of this 4-week conversational series is that if we're serious about answering life's big questions, we're going to have to answer them together. And that's what community offers. The opportunity to shift from paralysis to participation. Nothing promised me meaning, and that's what makes my choices matter. Across 4 weeks, the journey has been a realization of 4 facts. Number 1, I'm not in danger. Safer than I thought. Number 2, I'm not lost. As a matter of fact, I think I like who I'm becoming. Number 3, I am not powerless, because I know what good people do. And number 4, I am not insignificant, and I'm done pretending that I was. The reality is, I'm free. I'm free to answer the questions and assign the meaning. And not only am I free, I'm not alone. And I never have been. See, that's the thing. We're not in this by ourselves. As a species, there is not one time in our history that we have been alone. There have been some hard times and there have been some dark times, for sure, but we've never been alone. The religions of our past have marred us with insignificance through isolation, making us smaller in both person and community, convincing us that while surrounded by millions in our states, hundreds of millions in our countries, and 8 billion other people sharing one planet, that without a genie in the sky, we're somehow alone. We're not alone. We're just not connected. You're not insignificant. You're just not connected. You're not lost. You're just not connected. This is the reality. This is what we're dealing with. You're not in danger. You're just not connected. This is your opportunity to get connected. We can't promise you certainty, but we can offer you community, a place to explore your curiosity, pursue clarity, and confidently practice walking out who you are in the world, surrounded by others who are doing the same thing, who are taking the same march. And listen, community isn't just a place to connect better. It's a catalyst for building better. It's the pathway to living better. On the other side of connection is the opportunity to get involved. It's an opportunity to make impact. It's the opportunity to innovate and workshop real-time solutions to the problems in our cities, our countries, and ultimately our world. I'm inviting you into a paradigm and a perspective where progress could be the point, where no guarantees could be your permission to perform, and the possibilities are yours to collaborate. Join us in creating a space where people are welcomed, embraced, and celebrated for who they are and who they're becoming. Don't let your gifts and your passions, your talents and your skills go unsupported. Don't you dare stay on the sidelines. Get connected to an engine that's building bridges to better, one connection at a time. Help us create events and programs that inspire people to their best selves and their best lives. Help us make music that becomes the soundtrack of human progress. If you're serious about making a difference in the world that we share together, then don't waste another moment. Get connected to Bridge City today, now. You can follow the link on the screen. We'd love to be your community. We'd love to be your safe place to land, your safe space to live, to learn, and to lead. This is your opportunity to get connected today. I almost feel like I'm in the moment, right? But what I want you to know is that this is bigger than just watching somebody talk on a Sunday morning. This is an invitation into a community that has set itself apart with a commitment to reduce harm and to create and to increase happiness by helping people connect better, by helping people build better, by helping people live better. A place that we can all come into with no fear of control, with no fear of coercion, with no fear of conforming, a place where you don't have to perform, where you don't have to wear anybody else's label to be accepted, but you're accepted because you are a human being and you're needed at the table of humanity. And ultimately, that's what this invitation is. The invitation is an invitation to the table of humanity. Come on in where the table is spread, so that we can work together and we can take responsibility together for the world that we live in, the world that we share. And you say, why do this? If you don't believe in a God anymore, what's even the point? People. People are the point. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed this series. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed each conversation that we've had in Life's Biggest Questions. This has been one of my favorite. Every talk to me has just been like mind-blowingly great. This has been amazing. And I think we've even seen growth in our community from this one. But guess what? It doesn't stop today. Next week, we're going into a new series, Falling in Love with Reason. And I'm super duper excited about it. So listen, make sure you're back here next weekend, same time. Let's make sure we catch our clothes real quick. I love y'all. Until the next time, be the bridge.
What another great session today. You got to tell us what your favorite takeaway was from today's conversation. Make sure to leave it in the comments or keep the conversation going on our global campus in the common space. Speaking of, if you're making the decision to join Bridge City today, let me be the first to say, welcome to the Bridge. We're so glad to have you be a part of our growing community and can't wait for you to get involved. Your first step is to click the link on the screen now. From there, you can join our global campus and take your first steps as a new member. Once you're in, we made the path to connection easy, with brief learning tracks about our campus as well as our mission. By the time you finish your first steps, you'll know more about your new community and how to plug in and begin making a difference. So, if you're ready to join, click the link now, get access to member-only content, conversations, clubs, and even courses. We can't wait to welcome you. For everyone else, if you value these conversations and believe in the work we're trying to do as a global community, let's pause for an opportunity of generosity. Your giving helps make this space accessible, sustainable, and growing. It empowers our bridges to not only reach further, but support more people on the journey. With very little support, we've already accomplished so much. We've impacted hundreds of lives through these sessions, live events, and now with our global campus. Imagine how much more we could be doing, supporting, and promoting with your consistent financial support. Your weekly or monthly support, large or small, empowers us to establish new spaces, train new leaders, and power new projects that move people forward. That's what Bridge City is all about. The donation link and QR code are on the screen now for anyone who is willing and able to make a statement of support today. We appreciate all of our financial supporters because you help make this possible. And finally, don't keep this to yourself. A bridge is only as effective as the places it reaches. Help us reach new places by sharing this experience with someone and showing them that there's life after uncertainty. Together, we can reach the world.
What an incredible weekend, right? Thank you so much for joining us for the Life's Big Question series. To our visitors, I hope we get a chance to welcome you again next weekend. The first time, you're a visitor. Your second visit, you're a guest. And if you come back a third time, you're as good as family. To our members, make sure to stay updated on events and activities by checking the commons, the clubs, and the calendar of the global campus. That's all for today, Bridge City. Have a people-centric, forward-thinking kind of week. Until next time, keep rising and be the bridge.
So happy to be here, finally living with no fear. I'm living my best year, so glad I didn't give up in last year. I'm happy that you're here too, so happy to be with you. Glad that you made it through, I saw that you made it through. I'm happy to be here, I'm finally living with no fear. I'm living my best year, so glad I didn't give up in last year. I'm happy that you're here too, so happy to be with you. So glad that you made it through, I saw that you made it through. I don't know if you hear it or not, but I want you to know that this song is about you. I'm saying saying you're more than enough. If you looked at yourself, you would be fucking proud of you. Get that weight off your chest, let it go, let it flow. Let it roll off your shoulders. Don't be scared to be loud, to be proud, to be bold, to be more than they told ya. It's like jumping out of airplanes and swimming with the sharks. That existential feeling when you're staring at the stars. There's a hurricane in my head, but the lightning in my heart makes it worth it. Yeah, I still get nervous when you drop in the stream and you check out this life is. Yeah, it feels like the very first time I can build with you forever. I am certain, yeah, 'cause I still get nervous when we all get the point in the fireworks, flossing and sparks through the air like the 4th of July. I can build with you forever, I am certain, yeah, 'cause I still get nervous. So happy to be here, I'm finally living with no fear. I'm living my best year, so glad I didn't give up in last year. I'm happy that you're here too, so happy to be with you. Glad that you made it through, I saw that you made it through. I don't know if you hear it enough, but I want you to know that this song is about you. I'm saying you're more than enough. If you looked at yourself, you would be fucking proud of you. Get that weight off your chest, let it go, let it flow. Let it roll off your shoulders. Don't be scared to be loud, to be proud, to be bold, to be more than they told you. It's like flying in the fast lane, no headlights in the dark. That existential feeling makes you wonder who you are. There's a wild wind in my head, but the butterflies in my heart makes it worth it. 'Cause I still get nervous when you drop in the stream and you check out this life. And yeah, it feels like the very first time I can build with you forever. I am certain, yeah. 'Cause I still get nervous when we all get the point in the fireworks, flashing and sparks through the air like the 4th of July. I can build with you forever. I am certain, yeah. 'Cause I still get nervous. Hey! 'Cause I still get nervous. 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 When we all get the point in the fireworks, flashing and sparks through the air like the 4th of July. I still get nervous when you drop in the stream and you check out this life and it feels, yeah, it feels like the very first time.